Welcome to the show. I am your host, LaVonda Ray. Thank you for tuning in to the Here and Now show. I'm trying to get my camera adjusted, y'all. Give me a second. Oh my gosh. Thank you for tuning in to the Here and Now show. I am your host, LaVonda Ray, as I said before. And if you tuned into my show, then you know that I'm coming from the Midwest, where we come in and show how I love this city. Hello, somebody. And if you've been rocking with me for a while, you know that I created the Here and Now show. I took real life events and turned them into a positive living. If you have any questions or you have comments, feel free to leave it in the question box because, as I say, I believe that all voices matter. And who knows? Your very much opinion, your thought, will really change someone's whole life. So with that being said, we can start the show as we do. And if you know, of course, if you've been a part of my show before, you know that I love jazz music. It's a way that I set the stage for a lot of moments. Before I start my show, I kind of like to set the atmosphere. So if you don't mind taking a few seconds with me while we jazz it out for about a few seconds, and then get into the show. All right, let's make it happen. Try to put some hair sticking on. Pull my glasses down. Welcome back to the Here and Now show. It's your girl. I want to thank you all for being here with me right here, right now. At this moment, it just means so much to have you guys come back and share these moments with me and sharing with you guys. It is beautiful. Thank you so much. So today's message is for every woman, almost for every woman who almost felt like giving up, and for every man who got tired. Now, if you was with me last week, you know that I did a show speaking on better versus bitter. Better, not bitter. And I feel like that this is kind of like a part two from that. We are not better. I'm sorry, we are better. We are not bitter. We are better. We're not bitter. So again, this show is for every woman or every person who smiled in public and cried in private, for every woman who thought, I'm tired, I don't want to do this, and for every man that felt the same way, that they were tired. Today's conversation is sister, get up, and my brother and brothers, stand up. That means no more laying down in defeat. There's no time to lay down in defeat. We're not doing that. No more letting decorate your life like old furniture. No more letting disappointment move in without paying rent. Okay. Some of y'all, you know, like myself, I've been through storms. I've had heartbreak. I've felt betrayed, been through rejection, money problems, family troubles, money troubles. And I should have known better troubles. You ever had those troubles where you're like, oh, I should have known better, but you did it. You should have. You didn't. You didn't know better. You should have known better, but you didn't. Don't beat yourself up about it. But I'm here today, and hear me today. You are not buried. You are being planted. You are not finished. You are forming. You are not broken beyond repair. You are being rebuilt. Hello, somebody. And sometimes life breaks us, but When life breaks us, sometimes it breaks you to let the blessings get to you. Sometimes your faith will allow pressure, and sometimes your faith will allow pressure because there's a purpose in that pain. Okay, so whatever whatever you believe in, the higher power, sometimes that faith that you believe in, that faith will allow you to have pressure because there's a purpose in that pain that you're going through. You've cried, but baby, you survived. You bent, but you didn't break. You bend. We all kind of bend a little when shit get tough. We bend, right? You lost things. I've lost things. We've all lost things. Sometimes it's a part of life, but it didn't lose you. You know, some of us, sometimes like myself, we look good while life is falling apart. You feel what I'm saying? Like, still getting your hair done, still got your lashes on. Personally, I don't wear lashes, but I'm just saying you can, there are some people that it can actually still look good while falling apart. Again, getting your hair done, still keeping your lashes on, you know what I'm saying? And still smiling through stress. Even though stress is sitting right there on the passenger side, you're still smiling. Some of my men, some of my brothers in the spirit way, brothers in the real world, all my brothers, we're all connected. I'm sorry. But like, I don't like you, sister. But I like you, brother. I like all my brothers. And so all my brothers out there acting all strong, it's okay, but tired enough to cry in the car before work. But today is a wake up call. And again, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a relationship coach. I am just a woman that's been through some situations through life, and that hoping that people alike can relate to that feeling, you know. But today, it's a call, it's a wake up call. Sisters, we're gonna stand up. And my brothers, let me change that around. I'm speaking too fast. Sisters, get up, and brothers, stand up. Okay? Dust yourself off. Straighten your crown, baby girl. Straighten your crown. Pull your shoulders back and take your joy back. I also did a conversation a few weeks ago about, taking you back, getting that inner self of you back, because what you went through did not come to destroy you. You understand? It came to develop you. It did not, because whatever you went through, it did not come to destroy you. It came to develop you. So take a few seconds, go run and get you something to drink, soda, maybe it's a go to the bathroom break. We're gonna have a few seconds of jazz class before we get back into it. I hope you guys don't be like, oh my God. But if you just let jazz, because for some reason, I don't know, jazz just does something. It just lightens up the mood, it sets the atmosphere. So I'm gonna do a little break of jazz and then we're gonna dive into it. So hey, all right. Welcome back. You guys are probably like, that was not enough time to get a soda or use the bathroom. I know. Timing is everything. No pressure. I'll still be here when you come out the bathroom. Welcome back. And as I said, today we are talking about sisters, get up, and brothers, stand up. Talking about growing. Oh, I could say that word, growing through what you go through, and too blessed to break. You know, Building from brokenness, going from pain to purpose. And baby, this show might step on some toes because it's nothing but healing walking around this room. Hello, grow through what you go through, right? And I'll say it again, growing through what you go through, right? Sometimes we might ask, And I've asked, why me? But the better question is, why is there what is growing in me, right? Because pain can grow. Patience, you go through pain, it develops you with patience, wisdom, boundaries, my favorite, faith, another favorite, and strength. Because some lessons come in disguise as relationships. You thought it was love, but it was all the time. It was just life class, just a life class. It's just a class that you had to learn in life about this relationship. Which brings me to this short thing. Like I had know a woman. She had lost her job, and when I tell you, she cried for weeks. And during her journey of crying and trying to find herself, find another job, stressing herself out, interviews after interviews, she started baking from home, right? And did you not know that a year later, her baking from home, she opened up her own bakery? And what I'm saying is that, she thought that she was broken when she lost her income. She thought that. She thought, oh, I was losing her income. But what it really was when she lost her job, it was really forcing her to find her purpose. And her purpose was having her own bakery shop. Little did she know, the tears and the fears and the struggles brought her to baking. And she started baking in her kitchen, and her cakes were, and her pies, her breads were perfect. Because, if, bread has to be broken before it can feed others. You understand what I'm saying? And sometimes you can break, but when you break, because her purpose, she thought, oh my God, I lost this job, I lost this income, but her purpose was sitting right there in the passenger seat, just sitting there, and then, like I said, voila, she had her own business. And again, bread has to be broken before you can feed others. Sometimes you can break to lose pride, to release old habits. You know what I mean? So when you break, sometimes when you break, you lose a little pride. Sometimes when you break, it's to break to those old habits so you can become softer and stronger. So you don't become angry, you don't become bitter, right? Some people say, I'm falling apart. No, 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 baby. You're not falling apart. You're just under construction. Furniture falls apart. You know what I mean? So, next time you hear people say, "Oh my God, I'm falling apart," or no, or to him, no, you're not falling apart. Furniture falls apart, baby. You're just under construction. You're just going through the transformation. You're just trying to get there. Don't fall apart in the process because it's easy to fall apart in the process. But we keep going, you know what I mean? But again, tell yourself, I'm not falling apart. You are under construction. That's such a wonderful way of saying it. And there was, I know this guy several years ago, he had been married. You guys are probably like, she has so many dang on stories. But, at my age, I've met a lot of people and I've been through a lot of journeys. And I've seen people come through a lot of journeys. And I think that's wonderful. But I had a good friend of mine. He had got divorced. And he had been married, I don't know, a good 12 years, I want to say. They was through there, right? And during that divorce, he thought that his life was over. As don't throw me down for that. As a lot of people would when you've been connected with someone for 12 years, it feels like it's over. It feels like, damn it, how do I start over, right? And I've never been married, right? So I can only say for being in a relationship for so many years, and it's almost like being married. Yeah, we was together for fucking 7, 8 years. But this isn't about me. This is about him. And he thought that he could never get over it. And so he started getting therapy. That works. Take your choose your struggle. And he chose to get therapy. And through weeks of therapy, he got better. He got healthier, and he became a much better father, more stronger than he was before. And then guess what he started doing? He started mentoring younger men. And that break became his blessing. So that all that pain that he felt, all the nights that he cried, and I've been just like him, just like him. I went through a horrible breakup that I thought would break me, but it didn't. And through my pain, I developed this podcast. You know what I mean? And not only that, through the pain, I began to write books and more books and more books. Given the fact, the books is not necessarily about my life, but this podcast was a way for me to open up that shell, and for him mentoring to other men about what he has been through was a blessing. Like, oh, hello, blessings, and building, you know, and him as well as myself, we was building from brokenness. You don't need to be perfect to have, a perfect picture to build a new life. So you don't have to have everything in pocket to have that new life. And just because you're starting over does not mean you are starting over from scratch. It just means, hey, I'm tired of this way, so I'm going to do things this way and change, because change is good. Change sometimes, depending on your situation, you know, can be. I've heard someone tell me, not all change is good. That's a whole other conversation. But from that pain, you use it, right? Use it as lessons. You use your pain as lessons. You also use your scars, wisdoms, your mistakes, and your tears. Those are all lessons. Some of us, like myself, used to have trust issues so deep that I was even side adding automatic doors. Yeah, I mean, that was another joke. Get it? I was so, I had so much trust issues that even automatic doors are open for me made me suspicious. You know, that's a joke, but that is another thing that you learn from building from or growing from. The lessons that you learn, that not everybody deserves to be under that. You can still watch people and have trust issues, but still be cautious. Just like, as a woman who has raised, my kids alone and several other women who I knew, who I know women who raise their kids and they struggle for years. But my friend, she raised her kids alone. She struggled for years, and guess what? She finished school when she was 52 years old. That broken season that she went through of raising her children, that it was a beautiful comeback because she finally graduated from school. All those years taking care of them kids and still going to school and putting belt to ass. Her comeback was horrific. Okay. And it turned her pain into purpose, right? Her pain into purpose. Your pain has a voice. If it lets you, it teaches you, right? Your pain has a voice. If you let it, if you let your pain teach you and not torture you, what hurts you can help others. Your testimony may be somebody else's survival guide. That's why I believe, and I stand on 10 toes when I say that all voices matter. Because essentially, you could very well make a statement, give a testimony, or even a moment to somebody else's survival because of what you went through, and let them know that if I made it through, surely you can make it through. If struggle, if struggle had a phone number, some of us could recognize it by the ringtone. Hello, sorry. But I had a lot of, there was a few answers to a few questions that was asked, of course. And I don't get asked these questions a lot, but when I do, I feel honored to reveal these questions and then, give my answer. And I will say again, if you feel like you have an answer to the question, feel free to leave it in the comment box, and we could talk, take notes back and forth, or we can agree to disagree. One of these questions was, why do good people go through hard things? But I would like to say, why do all people? Because I think that we're all people. I don't think it should be categorized as just good people, bad people, even though there are bad people and there are good people. So we would just say, why do a lot of people go through hard things? I would say because growth often happens in hard places, right? Another one was, how do you heal after fail? Well, you feel it, you face it, you forgive you, because to forgive yourself is not necessary to forgive them. It's for you to forgive yourself and then move forward. Um, Another one was, what if I'm tired? Well, rest, but don't quit. You understand? Rest, but don't quit. How can I rebuild confidence? Keep promises to yourself. The promises that you make to yourself, keep them. Own it, stand on it, do it, make it real because it's a promise you made to yourself. What if I fail badly? Failure is an event, not an identity. Okay. So when you fail, or you feel like you failed badly, as this person says, looks, and I'll tell you, failure is an event, not an identity. Okay. How do I know if purpose is here? How do I know the purpose is here? I think me answering that question, when purpose starts to make sense. That's how you know if your purpose is here, and that's how you know if you're getting your purpose, when your pain starts to make sense. So, sis, get up from depression, get up from settling, and get up from doubting yourself, right? And brothers, all my brothers, bros, all of y'all, all of us. Like I said, you guys are probably like, I don't even like you as a sister. I don't care. Yeah, you know that little annoying sister that gets on that brother's nerves. That's me. Okay, that's me, and all of your households getting on your nerves, saying getting on your back, and you're that brother that's getting on my head and telling me also stand up. So brothers, stand up in leadership, right, my brother? Stand up in healing, stand up in accountability, and stand up for yourself. And also, you guys, we got to stand up. Also, stand up for yourself for burning some calories, right? All that standing we're doing, might as well burn some calories. We're standing up, we're getting up. Let's burn some calories while we stand up. How about it? But as I wanted to say that this Here and Now show is clearly for people to listen, and I want you guys to hear me clearly. You survived things that people never knew you would. They didn't even know you were going through it, and you survived it, right? And you kept facing it. Nobody even knew you was going through the wilderness, but you made it, you survived it, and you faced it. And you were smiling while you were healing, and you kept going when you were tired. You carried weight that you should have never carried. You did that, right? You carried it. And yet you're still here. Hello, somebody. That means purpose is still here. Get up from your old disappointments. Get up from waiting on someone to apologize to you. Screw them, screw their apologies. Don't wait on that. Get up from shrinking yourself to making small people feel. No, let me get that better. Um, I want to say get up from shrinking yourself to fit small people, right? And again, my brother, stand up from being silent. Stand up from emotional hiding. Stand up from carrying pain like it's your identity. You are more than what happened to you. You are stronger than what hurt you. You are wiser than what fooled you. Stop calling yourself broken when you are rebuilding. Stop calling yourself lost when you're learning to prepare. You are not behind. You are you're not behind. You're just being prepared. I think I said that twice. Okay. You know, even Even seeds look buried until they start to bloom, right? Don't they? Your seeds that you plant in the ground, they look buried until they start to bloom. Your tears watered for something. Your pain taught you something. Your struggle built something. Now you walk into what's next. Laugh again. That's what's next. Shoot. Trust again. Trust in God again. Dream again. You matter. You need this in your season. You need to rise. And remember, some people left your life because they were blocking your view. Hello. I forgive you, but it's like, I forgive you, but my Wi Fi still won't connect. Get it? Healing is expensive, emotions are free, but time consuming. Your emotions are free, but it's time consuming. God removed folks so fast you thought he was spring cleaning. He removed them because you wouldn't. I'm not arguing no more. I'm just smiling and saying, you got it. You can have it. So grab your heart and keep your heart. Grab your edges, honey, if you had to. Shit. And clap if you survived. Ooh, 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 ooh. And remember boundaries. Boundaries is self-love with a lock on the door. I love somebody. Give yourself grace. Everyone has human moments. But before I close tonight, or this afternoon, it's not night, rather, to my brothers who are watching, stand up, heal, and communicate. Communicate with us, because like we're tired of being detectives. Communicate with us again. We don't like being detectives. Oh my God. And I'm sure you guys, there are some women that will communicate. You guys are probably like, stand up, women, communicate, right? So, and maybe he's tired of being a detective, but either way, we're going to stand up. We're going to get up. And to everyone, you are not a mistake. You are not your mistakes. You are not one, and you are not. Yeah, I don't want to challenge that. Be like, I was a mistake. I didn't ask to be here. I'm not talking about that. So let me rephrase that and say, you are not your mistakes. Okay, you are not your failed relationships. You are not. You are not what happened to you last year. Okay, it happened last year. You are evolving. You are wiser. You are one boundary away from peace. Hello, somebody. You're one decision away from joy, and you're one prayer away from strength. God removed them again because you wouldn't. So please. So peace, it looks really good on you. And it doesn't look like texting someone at 2 a.m. in the morning because you'll be peaceful sleepy. So rest better, walk taller, and if it costs you your peace, then it's overpriced. Hello, somebody. I don't know. But I do want to thank you guys for tuning in with me for our lovely 30 minutes. It's been blessed. Um, I want you to remember that you're worthy, you're worthy, you are worth everything. You are not your circumstances. You can overcome anything, mind over matter. Sometimes, life gets us and it gets us in situations where we didn't think we was ever going to get out of it, but you did. And you won, and you're still in the race. So if thank you guys for being with me at the Here and Now show. You guys are so blessed. I feel blessed. It's a wonderful afternoon in the Midwest. The sun is shining. The wind is just right. So, that means everything is going to fall place. Everything is going to be all right. So if you guys please want to stay connected with me, check out my webpage at Marshall's Books and More, where you feel free to make a purchase to support, all things. I have men, clothing, women, children, accessories, you name it. I got it, almost everything. Prices are wonderful. And so also I will be letting you guys know when my next book event will take place. So I would guys keep you guys updated, like, subscribe, share this video with someone who you think needs it, or hold it tight for yourself and still like it and share. So with that being said, thank you for joining the Here and Now show. I am out. Thank you again. Have a wonderful afternoon.